Hey guys, so we're gonna do some video devotions for just a little bit. Um, in the light of all this virus and world chaos, I wanted to go over a little bit about what you think and what I think's happening here. Um, the question that people are asking is this the end of days? I don't think so. I think this is the birth pains in which Jesus describes that the whole world will experience these things at the same time. And that's what we're seeing. This is the beginning of something that is greater than any of us. So I'm going to jump into the scripture and then we'll just kind of go from there. In Mark 13, 1 through 8, Jesus is telling about two prophecies that are going to happen. And I'm going to read it and then we're just going to kind of break it down. And it says, Mark 13:1, and he came out of the temple. One of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what wonderful stones and what wonderful buildings." And Jesus said to him, "Do you see these great buildings? There will not be left one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." And as he sat on the Mount of Olives opposite of the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, "Tell us, when will these things be? What will be the sign when all these things are to be accomplished?" And Jesus began to say to them, "See that no one leads you astray. Many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he,' and they will lead many astray. And when they hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. This is to take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be earthquakes in various places. There will be famines. These are but the beginning of birth pains." We see two different things happening here. First of all, he is telling about a prophecy that is about to occur at the Temple Mount of Jerusalem. So the first one that he's telling the disciples is, hey, look, this temple's not going to be here anymore. You're going to see that. But then something else is going to come down. You probably won't experience it, though. But I'm going to tell you about it anyway because I want you to record what's going to happen for future generations. So the Temple Mount is destroyed by the Romans due to the uprising of the Israelites. They, if you recall, the zealots and things upset the Romans because they kept killing soldiers and there was civil unrest. And so finally they decided to burn down the temple, catch it on fire. And the theory, nobody knows for sure, is that the gold inside the temple melted down in between the rocks, and the Romans were prying up the rocks of the temple to get to the gold. Nobody knows that for sure, but it makes sense that that's probably why they went ahead and destroyed the temple all the way down to the foundation. The only thing that remains of the temple is the Wailing Wall today, which was on the east side, I believe. But as we get into it, he starts telling the disciples about something that's going to occur in the future, something they'll never experience. And so he starts saying, look, first of all, don't be deceived. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to tell you that they are God. They're going to perform signs and miracles. They're going to trick people. And he's like, don't let it be. You need to remain faithful in me. Well, it's hard to remain faithful sometimes when you're not in control. I mean, that's what all this is about right now, is people are freaking out because they're not in control. Control is an illusion. And so that's what Jesus is trying to tell. He's like, look, people are going to come and tell you stuff. You're going to see wars. You're going to see all these things occur. But at the end of the day, God is in control. He says that do not be alarmed. You're going to hear about wars. You're going to see famines. I don't know if you know this right now, but there's a huge millions and millions of locusts in Africa and the Middle East. It's a plague that they're calling it. These are just the beginning of the things that are affecting the whole earth. And yeah, like human spirit, we get really scared. But what? Have we sit down and been in prayer about this? Have we said, hey God, what's going on? Can you give me ease? Because Jesus is telling them, look, I know this is scary, but don't be alarmed because I will be there. Sometimes that's easier said than done to believe. Sometimes that, sounds good, but you still have doubts and fears. That's normal human nature. But what we have to do is cast those fears out and not allow them to affect us in a negative way. And me too. I mean, it's scary to think about being out of control. But that's exactly what we're teaching this whole time, is giving God control of our life. Saying, yeah, I want you to be in control. I think that when we think about the second prophecy, we are in the times of end. We are getting closer. We are seeing more things happen. And your guys' life is going to look very different now because of the coronavirus. It's changed a lot in the whole world, and not even in the United States. When we think about things affected, this is a worldwide thing. This isn't a Missouri thing or an Arkansas thing or a China thing. It's worldwide. And these are the things that Jesus is talking about. So don't be in fear, but be in prayer. This is the enemy that's trying to convince you to just, well, go ahead and do what you want because it's fine. It's not a big deal. But that's not what we're called to do. We're called to be in prayer, and fervent prayer too. And I set this verse out earlier this week, yesterday, I believe, because, as we have to prepare for what's to come, and nobody really knows what that is. In John 16:33, it says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Guys, give God this worry. Give him all of this because he's in control. We're not. This is a stark reminder that we have to allow Jesus to be our peace. We've got to allow him to overcome the world through us. And if Christians are freaking out and other people are freaking out and restaurants are closing and you can't go to the theater and da-da-da-da, that's a lot of time to reflect. That's a lot of time to reach out to people and care. That's a lot of time to be in fellowship with God. So I would encourage you, as you think about what can I do, Jesus tells us these things to be in preparation for nothing more than to trust in him. That's our preparation. Get into the Word this week, every day, you guys could do the Bible app. I've talked about this a million times. Get on there together and invite each other and do a Bible study online. And you can type stuff out. You're on Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram all the time. Get on that Bible app and do the same thing. Just take 10 minutes out of your day. Get into the Word and talk about it. And it'll change your life. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns right now, but that's okay. You guys can always reach out to me or any of the leaders. We're always here. We're always available, and we want to be part of your lives. And I know that we're all experiencing the same thing, which is kind of bizarre. It's a different thing because it's not like my Aunt Sue is sick today. It's like, oh, whoa, the whole world is affecting this or feeling the same effect. And so take heart, trust in God, get into fellowship with Jesus, and let him melt your cares away, and you'll feel better. So I'm going to post this video. This is kind of our Wednesday night devotion. Like I said, I encourage you guys to get on the Bible app and just invite one another and get into a big old group and start doing Bible study together. Me and the leaders are doing one. And if you have any concerns, I know you guys have been on Snapchat quite a bit, talk them out. Talk about it. Talk about your feelings. Talk about your fear. Let each other, encourage each other. Because you might be strong one minute and down the next, and that's okay. That's how we are. We're human. We're feeble and weak in a lot of senses. But when the weak are weak, you're going to be strong, and when you're strong, others will be weak. So take this opportunity to reach out to those you love, and just go out there and be the light of the world, guys. And I love you all, and I will hopefully see you soon. And like I said, reach out, and we'll talk it out. Peace.